I was asking Spirit, like, what should the collective be grateful for? And the first card that came out was Ten of Swords. Everything is fine. And I feel like Spirit is saying that be grateful that you're no longer in this state of pain. I feel like Spirit is saying be grateful that the things that have collapsed, whether it was old relationships, old stories that you were telling yourself, maybe mindsets as well too that you were stuck in, toxic relationships, self-sabotaging behaviors. I feel like Spirit is like be grateful that like that chapter that you faced it, because I feel like I'm speaking to people or at the very end of facing it. I feel like Spirit is like be grateful that you're no longer in this like false reality, that you see things for what it is, that you took accountability for your role in the situation, that you started to see how other people were treating you, how people weren't pouring into you, how you were getting caught up in distractions and you weren't facing the pain. I think that's where Spirit is like, be grateful that you no longer are avoiding the pain and that you started facing the pain and you started to process that pain. You started to process feeling left out in the cold. For some of you guys, maybe feeling rejected or abandoned, or maybe just feeling like, geez, I can't catch a break. Maybe for some of you guys, also feeling not your mental health not being in the best, or maybe your physical health, or both not being in the best. Maybe being in a financial crisis as well too. Spirit is like, be grateful that you never gave up hope on yourself and on the divine of shit. Maybe sometimes you did. Maybe sometimes you did, but you got back up onto believing in yourself and believing that things would change. You never fully gave up hope on yourself, no matter how much you were down, no matter how much people try to keep you down, or maybe certain life circumstances made you felt like you were being kept down. You didn't stay down. I feel like Spirit is like, be grateful that you're no longer in those toxic connections or relationships because you finally released yourself. That's what it is. Be grateful that you release yourself from the pain and the toxicity and just all the darkness, or that you are on this process of releasing yourself because you opened yourself up to reuniting with your higher self. You opened yourself up to more peace, more stability, like I said, to healthier and harmonious connections and relationships, whether that be romantic or platonic. You gave room for yourself to one, to heal, but to also allow healthier individuals into your life. And be also grateful that you have that discernment as well too, that you have walked away from people who weren't serving you, who were trying to compete, who were trying to be petty, who were trying to one up you or win at all costs. Like, nobody got time for that. Be grateful that you walked away from those individuals, or that you are walking away from those individuals or situations that didn't serve you. And be grateful that you are going to speak your mind. Whether people agree with you or not, you're going to be heard. You're going to be heard, whether people agree with you or not. And also, you don't mind finding a compromise with other people. Like, it's not like your word has to be law. But I feel like, I don't know if I'm speaking to people who maybe wouldn't have stand up for themselves or spoke their mind or spoke their piece. And I feel like you have no problems doing that now. It's almost like, be grateful that you've learned from these painful situations the lesson, and that you're taking this lesson with you, and that you're applying this lesson with you, and that that there's certain people, certain situations, certain jobs that weren't worth your time and energy, and you release that. Be grateful that you're no longer putting your hard work and hard energy into situations that do not serve you, or that are not going to benefit you, and like how you thought that they would. You know what I mean? Be grateful that you finally are tapped into your emotions, and you're letting your heart lead you, and you're going after what your heart desires, and you've been emotionally maturing on this journey. Be grateful that at the end of this transformation, you're going to have mastered your emotions, tapped into that self-compassion, and you're going to be a whole lot more compassionate to other people, but you're not going to allow people to rock your peace or rock your boat, even in the midst of chaos. That's what's happening with what you should be grateful for, because you're on this journey that at the very end of it, even if you are in the midst of chaos and everything is burning down, you're still going to be in your own energy. You're still going to be confident. You're still going to be kind, compassionate. You're going to know who and what to pour your energy or your emotions into and what not to. You're, like I said, you've mastered your emotions. You're on this journey of mastering your emotions, of trusting your intuition, trusting spirits, And you have that discernment on who deserves your love and who does not deserve your love, who deserves your time and energy and who does not deserve your time and energy. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what spirit is like, you should be grateful for, that people have showed you time and time again that they're not meant to be in your life, and you know what it looks like going forward when dealing with new and other people. Be grateful, like I said, that you stand up for yourself, that you speak up for yourself, that you haven't given up hope on yourself, and like I said, that you're still on this beautiful journey of discovering yourself, of trusting your intuition, of allowing your, not being afraid to express your emotions and how you feel, and not being afraid to process your emotions as well too. Just keep taking your time. Oh, this is beautiful. So if this resonates, thank you for commenting down below. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for following me. And if you would like to work with me to get a personal reading, the link is in my bio. Until next time, bye.